The story revolves around the character Nog, a goblin inventor. For centuries, explorers have slaughtered monsters for entertainment and hunted goblins to take their body parts and bed linens. Nog has sought to understand why this is so. After inadvertently unlocking a mysterious power that allows him to level up and grow stronger, Nog finally gains the confidence to pursue the answer to his question. He embarks on a perilous quest across the world with his best friend, Goblin, to discover why humans hunt goblins. Dive into the intriguing tales surrounding Nog's journey. Let's begin. In the beginning, we see a goblin running after wild boars. When you fell into the trap, everyone was very happy. The guy praised himself, saying that it was he who thought of this. He's an inventor, that's his calling. Maybe he is, but half of his inventions don't work. The young man is right, he is the only goblin who creates something, although sometimes it does not work. Someone fired a bow from afar, and the goblin noticed this and saved the girl. That's the reality of goblins. For as long as he can remember, they've always been prey to bounty hunters. Everyone began to run away from the hunters who were advancing into battle. He was running alongside the girl, but as for Nox and Phoenix, as well as the others, there was no way to save them. But the guy might be able to save them. He fired the wooden pistol, but something didn't work. The hunter found 2 more goblins. Their ears should be enough for him to complete the quest. The girl shouted that her ears were the cutest in the village. It was better to let them take Nog's ears. There was a cloud mushroom in front, and the guy jumped on it. This caused a cloud that blocked the hunter's view. The red-haired hunter said, "Stop looking at nothing, they were already gone." The other only needed 2 ears. After all, this guy, Hugo, is weird. Every time the girl thinks that they are critics, she always says that, but they're always on the edge of it. They came to Rectoros, the southern goblin village. The hero has always wondered why the bounty hunters hunt them, the goblins. They never eat, but only take their things and ears. Why, in Raygoth's name, would they want their ears? Raygoth is a deity worshipped by goblins. Well, why only ears? It's all very strange. Yes, and the things of the hunters for profit are much better. Why do they need them? All the goblins were gathered in a single group, and the boys squeezed through them. The elder was announcing that this was the 7th attack of the bounty hunters in a week. It is obvious that they have become more likely to attack them. Goblin turned to the girl. He was sorry for the loss of her brother. She wondered if he hadn't died today. Either it was crazy, but didn't he die last week? Or was it gas? That's what happens when you have a few hundred brothers and sisters. You don't know who's alive and who's not. The elder thinks everyone understands that they have to do something about these vile hunters. I wonder what strategy they will follow. Would they set up a trap or hide out, or would they send a lot more goblins out to hunt? They will crush them with numbers, the guy said. Sending most of the goblin would result in a lot of losses. They should come up with a more practical plan. And what does he suggest? The head asked. He is thinking of creating another broken trinket that will magically rid them of the enemy. Now he thinks he should change the way he hunts to avoid the bounty hunters. Instead of sending more goblins to them, they need to find out why they hunt them. The chief laughed. It's the stupidest idea he had ever heard, a goblin trying to understand the bounty hunters. But who cares what's in their heads? They are barbarians. They must destroy them as they do them. Only the truth is strong. They can make these creatures run away from here. Strength is what counts. When he got home, the guy was very angry and returned his things. The elder wants to send more goblins to their deaths, and he gets angry. They also call him dumb. The girl came to him, and he said they could do it together. After opening the chest, he said that they would catch a bounty hunter and find out why they hated goblins. The next day, it wasn't just the elder. Everyone thought the guy was a fool. He put together something that should work. Now he asked if the girl was ready. The hunter squad had just come out. This was their chance to catch someone. There are many creatures in their world. Only in this forest, there are more than he can count, and among them, they are goblins. They're also considered the weakest, but they make up for their lack of strength by numbers. However, all the creatures of the forest suffer from only one thing: humans. For as long as he can remember, humans have been raiding their forest relentlessly, killing everything they see, especially goblins, as if they have something valuable. They call themselves profit hunters. I wonder how long this is going to go on, mindlessly killing each other. Is it really forever? The girl was yelling at him. He was lost in his thoughts. She asked why they were here. Everyone is fighting the bounty hunters in the middle of the forest, so they have a better chance of catching someone if they were closer to the epicenter of the battle. Of course, yes, but then they have a better chance of dying as they did yesterday. She doesn't want to. The most powerful bounty hunters are probably fighting in the middle of the forest right now. But if the guy was a weak hunter, he would have separated from the others and searched the area away from the battle, looking for lonely, wandering monsters. They are now exactly where they can meet such a hunter. Wow, not even thought of that, the girl was surprised. He's doing a great job. And now they're setting up 3 traps, a network setup, a human trap, and a sky stealer. Very cool, but why do they have such lame names? Because they reflect what they do, he explained. And, to be honest, I just couldn't come up with a name for a long time. They noticed the man and hid in the bushes. He was about to approach the trap but just broke the rope with his foot. The hero is sure that he installed it correctly. Why didn't it work? That's when this network fell on him, and it really seems to be working. He asked her to shut up and help him out, but the first trap didn't work. The next one will work 100%, it cannot misfire. The person just has to stand in the middle, and this is a mineral, one of the rarest. No one can resist it, so he will step on the middle. But the guy walked past it and ignored it. It looks like the hero is adept at leg minerals. The last trap, but the mineral didn't attract him. Don't people need rare minerals? This mineral and Goblin, you don't need, the girl explained. Why not try to put this? She showed the Goblin doll. Well, who needs it? The girl made it herself, and then the knife. Hunters always take their stuff, so it's the perfect bait. The man heard something, but he just saw a stupid piece of cloth, goblin cloth. This is perfect for his daily quest, the guy realized. The guys cut the rope with an axe and managed to get the man. He was hanging upside down, there were goblins in front of him. Could it be them? The boy said, "Hello to Mr. Knife Hunter. Don't worry, if he cooperates with them, they'll let him go." He was caught by goblins, but first, the guys had a few questions for him. Why do they hate goblins so much? They hunt them all day to get their teeth, and they also take their belongings, goblin ears, hair, fingers, and even teeth. The guy got angry, he was already talking about teeth. So why do bounty hunters hunt goblins? Why can't they live in peace in this world? Czech said they were stupid goblins who wouldn't understand anyway. If the human does not want to answer, then it is pointless to let him live, the hero said. He believes that such threats will intimidate a person. But when he took out an axe, the person screamed, it cut the rope and sent the man flying down into the pit. There were sharp spikes at the bottom. Why did the girl cut the rope? He said it was time for him to die and even gave a signal with his hand. He just wanted to scare the person, and they were not caught by any hand forces, so they killed him. No, this girl had killed him, he should get him out of there, the hero explained. The girl said she didn't think he should go down there to get it, but it was the right thing to do. Gremlins, oh, those gremlins, he muttered, I only asked her not to throw the rope. Don't worry, she won't do it. A cute creature flew up to him, he was afraid and pushed the ghost away, but it moved right into his heart. The girl didn't know what he was talking about, why did he get up when he didn't even get to the end? Some strange ghost came out of the bounty hunter and took possession of him. He became a player, blue glasses appeared in his eyes, showing the scoreboard, and he unlocked a new skill. The spirit asked if the player understands the skill, and the hero got scared, asking if the girl sees this spirit. But he is the only one who can see and hear this creature. You need to calm down. If he is haunted by a ghost, then he deserves it, especially after the death of this hunter and on his hands. Well, why him? There was a scoreboard in front of him with the choice to accept or refuse. His hand went through this thing, and the young man was very angry. Didn't the girl really see? She didn't understand that he was crazy. People heard the screams of goblins, and the girl was scared. The guy grabbed her by the arm and started running. They split up as people fired arrows and attacked. A man ran after him and said he couldn't clean it up, calling him a dirty goblin. But he's not dirty at all, he bathes every day. Why is this thing gone? The spirit said. He should choose to accept or refuse, he's going to die from running. Which one should I choose? But it also said acceleration, and he accepted it, gaining the first level of the acceleration skill. The guy launched an attack on a tree. If it falls, it will block the path of the hero. He doesn't want to die like this. Wasn't he going to find out why bounty hunters hated goblins? Didn't you want to bring peace to the goblins and become great like Goblin Thunder? He thought aloud. He pulled away and activated the acceleration skill. The guy was surprised how he was able to teleport, even though it was this ghost doing it. He helped activate acceleration to temporarily increase his speed. He had a lot to explain to the guy, and now it's better to run. When he reached the village, he saw the wounded and dead being mourned. It can't go on like this, he thought, and went up to Zoloft, asking if he had seen the girl. Zoloft was surprised that the boy was still alive but hadn't seen Gabble yet. The guy was very scared. Did something really happen to her? If he wants to find his girlfriend, he can use the analysis skill, the spirit suggested. It turns out that he hears the guy's thoughts. Maybe he will stop following him after all, but this is the task of a ghost. He helps him analyze the standard skill that all newbies have. With it, he can find his girlfriend. The hero activated the skill and saw her among the crowd. The girl, when she saw him, burst into tears and ran to meet him. She thought the hunters had caught him and he was dead. She took him in her arms and held him for a long time. He threatened the spirit with a knife, telling it that it must tell him everything it knew or he would gut it like a fish. The girl didn't understand what he was doing because she couldn't see the spirit. But he told her that he simply couldn't be seen, and that the sign of hunters was following him. This means that he helped him escape from there. What kind of nonsense is he saying? Did he smell a sweet mushroom? The spirit would be happy to answer any question about the system, but it's pointless to threaten it, it can't die. When the hero began to explore the system, he realized that at last, what is called this system? He turns out to be a user of the system, and the spirit's name is Pip. The guy thought it would be so easy, but Pip really answered all his questions. The entry level in the system is the first, and these statistics reflect its characteristics. If he gains enough experience, he will raise his level and be able to upgrade his stats and skills. But does he think it's all too good to be true? It was said that he only has 2 power points, but why is Gabble 6 times bigger? Because she's so much stronger than the guy, Pip replied. He asked him if he inherited any characteristics from the money hunter. Does it turn out that I inherited its characteristics? No, all the system parameters are reset when it moves to a new player. It turns out that he's really so weak. How did that hunter get this system? Why does it even exist? Who created it? If all humans have it, that's why the bounty hunters are so strong. Why do they hate goblins so much? He needs more answers. Pip proved that this system is very powerful, it can change everything. He will find out why the hunters are killing them and what the system really is. He told the girl that he had a crazy idea. He suggested that they become money hunters. They found clothes and masks that no one would recognize them in. Besides, all these things once belonged to real hunters, so it won't raise suspicion. But she didn't think they had accumulated so many hunter items. The main thing is that this is probably the best disguise she herself has seen. How ridiculous they look in other clothes. They don't have enough power points to wear the outfit they've tried before. If so, now they need the right weapon because the hunters for profit are always well armed. She offered huge gloves, she likes them. Is she going to fight them? She always had a heavy punch in hand-to-hand combat. What weapon should the guy choose? Maybe use the new skill that Pip mentioned. He activated it for analysis. It seems that he only has enough power for a dagger, and he always imagined himself with a huge weapon. At the moment, the guy does not have enough strength for a larger weapon. He needs to increase his level to level up the characteristics. He can save his dagger in the inventory just by touching the item he needed and mentally saying store. It disappeared from the guy's hands. The dagger is now stored in his inventory. To view the inventory, you just need to mentally say inventory. A similar system is really very useful. She didn't understand what he was doing there with his hands, but he said that the ghost had given him access to a powerful force called the system, so he was trying to learn more about it. The ghost asked him to stop calling him a ghost, but the guy will still blame it on the ghost. The girl asked if she doesn't want to say what she's doing, then don't say it, just don't make up ghost stories. They heard voices that sounded like they were hunters, they had to go to them. Isn't it obvious that they are now also hunters for profit, so they should do so? People were fighting off slugs, but there were too many of them. Where did they come from at all? The guy used the analysis skill. A honey berry was crushed on the ground. These hunters tried to collect honey berries, but they don't seem to know how to collect them properly. That's why they fell into the trap of slime and just love these berries. The man could no longer be there, but he was like a tank for their team and needed. They won't be able to escape while being under so much attention from the slimes. A girl swapped a man for being a coward and left them to die. This guy just went and left his friends. The goblin girl suggested that he go from here. When people were fighting off one of them, a girl was hit by a slug, and she fell. They began to attack her. Her friend tried to help her, but she told her not to waste her time. At that moment, the guys jumped out of the bushes and said, "Don't worry, they will help them." He hates fighting them because to kill them, you need to destroy their core. This caused even more problems. As long as they are near these honey berries, the mucus does not stop arriving. But he doubts that with this injured girl, they'll be able to get away from this crowd. They broke her ribs in the slime. So why is she holding onto her knee if you get hurt, but a friend will be able to cure it? The girl never thought that she would meet two dwarves in this area. They think the boys must be dwarves' money hunters. They'll hold off these slugs, but only for a little while. He didn't hit the core again. How can that be? But what if I activate the analysis skill? Now he could see their weak spot. Using the analysis skill to identify an opponent's weak point is the right tactic, but only if the opponent's perception stat is greater than the opponent's, depending on the rank. Strength of the mob will be awarded experience points after gaining a certain amount of experience. He will be able to increase his level, the spirit thinks. He should talk about it after the battle. The girl doesn't even need to aim at the core, she just smears them. Pip wasn't kidding, Gabble is monstrously strong. What happens if his hit points reach 0? He asked. It was obvious that he was going to die. The guy was scared because he thought that he would just lose consciousness or something like that. Why didn't he talk about it earlier? The girl asked. Who the guy was talking to? The other girl tried to cure her friend. She noticed that this dwarf was talking to himself. She starts to worry. The setting didn't bode well. Why did the girl take so long to heal? At this rate, they would definitely die. She tried, she just has a lot of fractures. At this rate, all ready to save, there will be no one, she said. To leave her and go to save the dwarf, but the girl could not leave her. She promised Tyros that she would become a huntress. She would heal her friend, and they would get out of here together. The guy didn't know how to get everyone out of this mess. The slugs are too many, they keep coming and coming. Maybe he should use the skill again. Someone had killed all the slugs with a single swipe, but who was it? To this man, a bird saying that they guys need help. It was Tyros, and he was glad he was there in time. He paid attention to the guys they saved, Laura and Arya. It seems that he is now in debt to them. They began to scold the man because they almost died because of him, a coward. He apologized because he had regretted it 100 times and brought tears to the same place. If not for those dwarves, then no one would have been alive by the time they arrived. During the hunt, the tank is vital to attract the enemy to themselves, and Laura and Arya have every right not to trust him because he betrayed their trust. The guys are very lucky that a girl and a guy came to their aid. He will be happy to meet them. The man wanted to shake their hand, the girl screamed that she was Gabble, and this guy Nog, he said he owed them a favor. So does that mean he will reward them? The guy asked her not to be so rude, but the young man liked her pressure. They're currently heading to their guild in Merlos, which is not far from here. This is a human village, if they don't mind going with them, then he thinks they can reward them for their hard work. They set off, Arya whining about being hungry, and don't worry, they're almost there. Tyros killed them all in one fell swoop, the hero thought. Is his sword really that special? He tried his analysis skill, but it wasn't high enough to see the characteristics of this sword. He needed more perception points to level it up. Defeating an enemy increases experience, which helps you level up, and leveling up gives you additional stat points that you can use to level up your skills. But to be precise, some skills level up by themselves if you use them often, which is why the system is so confusing. It turns out that he is very strong. Since he can't see the characteristics of the sword, whether he will ever be able to reach this level, they reached the village. It was huge and advanced, there were clothing stores and weapon shops. Food, the guy understands that their eyes are running away now, but do not worry so much. In the guild, they will be fed. It only took him a few moments of being in human civilization to realize how different they were. The girl asked if he was interested in this watch, and if so, she would buy it for him as a gift. He didn't understand what they were talking about, it was just the thing he was looking at in the store. Even though it was the dwarves who invented the watch, it would be a stupid idea to give them to him. But they have a lot of them in the house, the hero replied. They have too many watches, just last weekend, her great-grandfather Gnome gave her another watch. Since this is the case, they will think about what to give these guests. After all, they saved them. These knife hunters, you are not so bad. Some animal barked at them from the cage. They were scared. But why do these animals in cages pay more for some living rare animals than for dead ones? They are sent to the so-called Infinity Prison, ostensibly to subdue them before being sold to beast tamers, or so the guy has heard. So they came to their home sweet home guild Red Crows. An old man was sitting at the table. He already thought that the guy would not come there. Also, he apologized to the head of the guild. It turned out that for today's hunt, they made 2 new friends. This is Noggin and Gabble. They saved the girls from death. This is Suffer, the head of the guild, introduced to the guest by the guy. He promised them a reward for today's heroism, and he is certainly happy to hear that the girls are safe. Why are there so many people crowded there? The girl asked. Today there are tests for hunters. A novice hunter for profit can pass the test in any of the guild halls. After passing it, he will receive the appropriate rank and will be able to complete quests from the task board. The Red Crows always accept hunters who have passed the test. So Arya was in their ranks. That's true, but they almost got sick from the trial, which is probably why their rank is so low. Wait, isn't this a great opportunity to become an official bounty hunter? The man went to get gold for the dwarves, but the dwarf stopped him by saying that he wanted to ask for another reward. He asked to let him and the girl take part in a test for hunters. So they want to be money hunters, Tyros whispered to him, giving him a great idea. As a reward for saving their girls, the guy is ready to conduct a special test for the two of them. It's much faster than usual, and it will require less paperwork. Their challenge will be to hold out for 1 minute against the strongest guild member, Tyros Talon. If any of them hold out for a minute against him, then they will take them to the Red Gate. The guy received a task. This is a mission issued by the system. For completing the task, you can get a special reward. If they pass this test, then he will know what will happen when you level up. The guy agreed to such an offer. They got into the ring. The girl, it was only necessary to hold out for a minute. A minute-long confrontation between Tyros and Goblin began. That's what I was surprised at, boy. No one has ever seen dwarves move like that. It's very strange. She pulled the guy back. What does this dwarf eat? If only some of her food, said the Watcher's girl. You know how to hold a punch. The hero was very scared, but she just lost consciousness. Now it was a 1-minute standoff between Tyros and Nog. The guy only needed 10 seconds to beat Goblin. He had to survive, no, he had to win. He used acceleration. It wasn't enough for him, he needed to go faster. None of the guys could actually see him because of the speed. Why can't he beat the guy? He doesn't understand. Has he adapted to his speed? The boy grabbed him by the mask, slid onto Thoth. The young man said to show him more tricks that he had hidden up his sleeve. What else can he do against Tyros? Is this really his limit? He promised the girl that they would become fortune hunters, and this is their best chance. If he reached his limit, then just overcome it. It means that the hero still has trump cards. But he became even faster. It can't be. Before that, he was not fighting at full strength. Tyros dodged the blow, but why can't the hero break through Tyros' defenses? He has enough manners to use acceleration again. He has become faster, so why doesn't it turn out how strong Tyros is? The guy decided to take the hero more seriously. He should. The guy threw it away and thought that this was the end. But not at all. The goblin is able to continue. The girl tried to stop him, he does not need to make such sacrifices. It was something he was still conscious of. Tyros was surprised, but a man stopped him. 1 minute and 10 seconds passed. Nog passed the test. The girl did not understand how her friend was able to withstand this blow. Just the guy hit him with the flat side of the ball. Tyros held out his hand to him, and he fought with dignity. And he can say with confidence that he will make an excellent hunter for profit. Welcome to the Red Crows, he said. The level was raised, they were given hunter cards. The girl wanted a non-gray, green one, but he told her not to pick on it. They probably don't know anything about bounty hunters, do they? After the challenge, they allowed them to touch the altar of their guild, thereby linking them to the hunter cards. The color of the card shows the hunter's class. A green card means that the bounty hunter is F class, but a gray card means no class, that is the lowest level of the hierarchy. The hunter can raise their class by completing tasks and earn points. By gaining the required number of points, they will raise their class. This board contains tasks assigned to the Red Crows Guild. After completing the tasks, you must come to the reception and hand in your card, after which they will be awarded a certain number of points. It turns out that the girl doesn't know if she even heard what Tyros was talking about. If she wants to get a green card, then she should complete several tasks. However, he recommends that they first assemble a group before setting off for safety reasons. The usual task is performed in a group of 5 people. Similar tasks are also divided into classes. There is a task to collect goblin ears. Is this why they hunt them? The customer of all this was Quora. You probably need to find this Quora and ask him. They've come to see what the rewards are for this quest. Great thunder, this is a goblin hero. He's wanted. Are they really willing to pay that much to kill him? A whole billion for an S-class quest with the condition that they bring the Thunder Goblin's head. The guy thinks that this task is too difficult for them. It's better to start with something easier. And how do they look at the fact that he joined them in their first task purely for their peace of mind? A girl ran up to Gabble. She watched her closely during the duel. She showed that they were not real dwarves, didn't she? What is she talking about? Laura is talking about how trained dwarves look at them. They don't even have any products, they look like noobs. It will disgrace the guild. How can they call them stupid? Not stupid but noobs, this is what they call new money hunters. She gave them a picture with potions. This is the least she can thank them for saving. He looked at the potion through analysis. Just drinking this can heal you. It's just incredible, he read it correctly. It's made from herbs and monster parts. The girl got this for them. These are 2 leather bags from the guild storage so they can put the potion here. She gives them this thank you, they like the gifts. It's very convenient. Laura is an alchemist, she makes these potions herself. You need to use them wisely, some very good potions can cost a fortune.